we're live.
Look, you're playing an organ there for a while. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
I call this meeting of the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board to order for October 20, 2014. Roll call, please.
Bernie Bassett.
Here.
Thomas Wood.
Here.
Mark Manning.
Here.
Michael Cash.
Here.
James Coffey.
Here.
Rick Collins.
Resolution 336, approving the minutes of the previous meetings.
Resolved that the minutes of October 6th and October 14th, 2012 be approved and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Cashman, second. Mr. Wood. Any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood.
Yes.
Mark Manning.
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 337, abstract 10B.
Resolved that the abstract of audited claims number 10B-14, 1889 to 1979, for $277,603.43, and abstract 10B-14, 386 to 409 prepays in the amount of $368,644 be received as reviewed by the audit committee. The supervisor is hereby authorized to pay such.
Motion.
So moved.
Mr. Cashman, second.
So moved.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood.
Yes.
Mark Manning.
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 338, building maintenance and safety committee monthly report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Art Rowe, Building and Maintenance Supervisor for the month of September 2014.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Mannix, second.
Second.
Mr. Wood, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood.
Yes.
Mark Manning.
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 339, Parks and Recreation Department monthly report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Melody Defiant, Recreation and Youth Director for the month of September 2014.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Cashman, any discussion?
I just want to say that I was able to attend one of the forums that the town held in collaboration with the city rec department, and I think that that survey is going to serve our region very well. I'm looking forward to the formal results coming from that. So,
You know, the numbers are getting close to 1,000 respondents, which is a pretty significant number for anything in our community.
Lily Page, so it should be interesting.
Great. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood.
Yes.
Mark Manning.
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 340, Planning Department monthly report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Phil Von Barging, Planning and Engineering Department Head for the month of October
Have a
2014.
motion.
So moved.
Mr. Mannix, second.
Second.
Mr. Cashman, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood.
Yes.
Mark Manning.
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 341, Supervisor's monthly financial report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a supervisor's financial report for the month of September 2014.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Cashman, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood.
Yes.
Mark Manning.
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, the resolution carries. Resolution 342, Town Clerk's monthly report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Rick Collins, Town Clerk, for the month of September 2014.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood.
Yes.
Mark Manning.
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, the resolution carries. Resolution 343, wastewater department's monthly report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Scott Stoddard, Water and Wastewater Director for the month of September 2014.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Woods, second.
Second.
Mr. Cashman, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Mannix,
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes.
Bernie Bass.
Yes, resolution carries. I know we have a student here this evening joining us. Welcome, thank you for coming. I just want to make a note, these resolutions we just went through very quickly are standard monthly reports from various departments. It isn't that we don't discuss them. We have a work session prior to a regular session. At that time, we get to go over draft resolutions. There are board members that are part of committees for each of those departments, and those board members may have interacted with various aspects of the report. So we're communicating all the time until we get here and we formalize the passing of that. Sometimes there'll be some comments because something new's happened in the interim, or there's something we want to make sure and acknowledge to the public, as Mr. Cashman did concerning the survey that's being done. But I know when I sat in those seats, I kind of wondered how things just gin-milled that rapidly. Believe me, it's just part of the process, but a lot of time went into this before and discussion and so on. And I say that at the time when we're getting to resolutions that may require some further discussion. We don't get together as a group unless it's a session like this. We can't have a quorum unless there's public notice opportunity for public to be here. So outside of the report, sometimes some of these slow down things a little bit, and some of these may be resolutions we've worked on in great length and they're finally to the point of approval. Okay, so I hope that helps a little bit with some of what you're hearing that may seem like we're just speeding through stuff. Resolution 334, setting a public hearing for certain elected officials' salaries in the 2015 preliminary budget.
Whereas a public notice for the preliminary budget and certain elected officials' salaries must be shared. Therefore be resolved that the notice of hearing entitled Setting a Public Hearing for Elected Officials' Salaries for the 2015 preliminary budget shall be published once in the newspaper, posted in the town hall and on the town website as indicated. Notice is hereby given that the preliminary budget for the town of Plattsburgh for the beginning of the year, January 1, 2015, will be compiled and filed in the office of the town clerk on or before October 31st, 2014. Further notice is hereby given to the town board, town of Plattsburgh, who will meet and review said preliminary budget and hold public hearings thereon at the town hall located at Banker Road in the town of Plattsburgh, Clinton County, New York, on Thursday, November 6, 2014, at 7:05 p.m. prevailing time. At such hearing, any person may be heard in favor or against the preliminary budget as compiled for, or against any item or items there contained. The list of councilpersons, supervisor, town clerk, highway superintendent. A copy of this preliminary budget will be available for inspection for all interested parties at the town hall on Baker Road between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
the public hearings, we're having the district, their different districts starting at 7:15, so if we start the budget hearing at 7, we probably won't get to these, or are you gonna just open them all up?
Usually that's worked pretty well, Tom, to open them all up, and we'll just keep the other hearings going, stop the public hearing on the budget long enough to close the hearing on the district, then go back to the budget, open another public hearing on another special district, close that, just keep it going. Otherwise, we'd be quietly sitting here as we went through the hearings on the special districts.
Okay.
That's
I just
work.
want to make sure, because you know, sometimes there's a lot more comments and
Yeah.
it take longer than that.
No, we won't, there's no closing time for the hearing. I mean, the hearing on the budget will stay open until it's no longer reasonable to do that. Any other discussion?
I just want to say, speaking to this specific resolution, there was a change from some of the tentative things that have been out over the last couple of weeks, and I'm glad to see that the reduction, or it's gone back to the original levels for the council, the supervisor. So I'm glad to see that, and I'm looking forward to hearing public comment, because as we had talked before, during the process for the tentative budget hearings, it was good to have some members of the public attend, but certainly hope that others will come for this portion.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, so has that been changed on our website then? Since apparently what we were told was that it was higher now?
The tentative budget had the salaries proposed for 2015 at the same levels they are this year. This year was reduced from the previous year. In a work session, I had a draft of this resolution that had the salaries restored to where they were in 2013. For the point of discussion and to make sure everybody understood, if you don't change them, the only thing you can do in the final budget is lower them. So we're back where we were. I couldn't go back and change the resolution, the draft resolution for the work session, because that was the draft resolution. We discussed it, and they're back where they were.
I understand, I just want to make sure that, our website reflects that.
Well, the website will reflect this resolution for this evening's agenda.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
I think it's important that the correction, if these numbers are not the numbers that are on the website, that the website numbers be changed to reflect this resolution. I think it's important. Part of the reason it's important is, I think, one of the significant messages that has to be consistently made is, we had a financial issue. We've addressed that financial issue. I think we've addressed it, and we've addressed it with a significant measure of success. That does not mean that we all of a sudden forget about the steps we had to take in order to get into a more successful posture. And so consequently, I'm very happy to see that these numbers are back in place the way they were. And it was not my intention to vote for any increases, and that's where I am.
And that
And I
is,
have no problem with it.
that is,
That it's reflected.
that is,
in the-
this agenda for this meeting is the one that is on the website. The agenda for the work session would be the one on the website. There's nothing to correct. That is the draft resolution that was there. And we've amended that further to be back to these numbers, which, just for clarity, the 2014 salaries for council persons and supervisor were reduced from 2013, and I believe the clerk and highway remain the same. And they'll all be the same as this year in next year's budget, unless it changes between now, or it can't, once it passes. This is it, so we're all set. Continuing the same salaries as were in 2014. All right, is that clear as mud?
Yep.
Okay. Any other discussion?
It's just for those individuals that are listed there, though, or those positions that are listed there.
Those are the
Not
only
for
ones
others.
that we have to list in.
That have to be done.
Right, and then it takes a local law that's subject to referendum to increase them. You can't lower them further, you just can't increase them.
Bernie, how many days before the hearing is this in the newspaper?
At least 5.
Okay, because there's no date when it would be available, so, but that's already,
Yeah.
it's the 31st, so you're.
It'll be in compliance. As soon as we
Yeah.
have it, we'll put it out.
5 days is good, yeah, thank you.
Any other discussion from the board? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Mannix,
Yes.
Michael
Yes.
Capson, Bernie Glassman.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 345, public hearing notice for consolidated assessment rules.
Resolved that a public hearing be held by the town board at the town hall on Banker Road on Thursday, November 6, 2014, prevailing time, as noted for the proposal of the hearing and consideration of objections to which may be made to the completed consolidated assessment roll that are on file with the town clerk pursuant to town law, section 239 as follows. You want me to read the times, or no?
As
As so noted. Resolved that the town clerk is hereby directed to have published in the Press Republican notice of said public hearing to be held at the Town Hall, 151 Baker Road. Then it be further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Cashman, second.
Second.
Mr. Wood, any discussion?
Point, should we not, instead of just simply saying ambulance, might we not better refer to that as a consolidated ambulance system?
We should.
I have no issue with that.
Any other discussion? Tom, you're okay with the change on ambulance district?
Yes.
Okay. So roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Manick,
Yes.
Michael
Yes.
Capson, Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 346, JCEO Services and Financial Assistance Agreement.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Town Board is in receipt of the 2014-2015 annual agreement between the town of Plattsburgh and the Joint Council for Economic Opportunity of Plattsburgh and Clinton County Incorporated, which states the services and financial assistance rendered by both parties for the operation of the community outreach program in the town of Plattsburgh for a period commencing December 1st, 2014 and ending November 30th, 2015. And whereas a request for $20,930 was made, an increase over last year's charge of $18,920, whereas the town board has given consideration to the request, but with the economic environment and significant increase in previous years, as well as other in-kind services provided by the town, has decided to keep the contribution for the outreach program at its current level. Therefore, be resolved, the supervisor is hereby authorized to make payment in the net amount of $18,920 to JCO, and it is further resolved that payment be made payable from the town of Plattsburgh General Fund, and that the town board does hereby authorize the supervisor to sign and execute said agreement upon approval to the form by town attorney. It is further resolved that an executed copy of this agreement be returned to JCO for their files and one be given to the finance manager.
A motion.
So moved.
Mr. Cashman, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Manick,
Yes.
Michael Capson.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, the resolution carries. Resolution 347, water rate adjustment, effective January 1, 2015.
Whereas the Greater Town of Plattsburgh Consolidated Water District and Park District are duly established water districts and have appropriated expenditures for operation and maintenance of its water systems. Whereas there is a need to provide sufficient revenue to offset operations and maintenance expenditures. Whereas the town board recognizes that the responsibility of maintaining a safe and reliable water system requires increase in rates that will both sustain its system as well as prepare for any future capital improvements. Whereas the proposed rate adjustment shall be fully effective January 1, 2015, and be retroactive to the date of the previous billing period, including any and all outside users, to be set as follows. The metered rate shall be $1.51 per 1,000 gallons, with a minimum per month of $6.60 or $20 per quarter based on the customer billing frequency. Therefore, be resolved that these new rates shall be in place and be effective on the first quarterly billing cycle, retroactive as noted. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and the wastewater department.
A motion.
So moved.
Mr. Woods, second. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cashman, any discussion? Roll call.
The number was read as $6.60 or $20 per quarter. It's $6.67 or $20 per quarter, just in case anybody was looking at that. And I would just like to say that with the meetings I've been to, that this is really very, very small, and that there's much other work needed in our departments to keep our resources coming in a manner that will be safe and sufficient for the people in our town.
I'd like to request that we table this resolution. I'd like to have us discuss the outside user rate. I'm a strong believer that the outside user rate should not be the same as the metered rate.
That's not at all mentioned in this. I mean, we can address that in a totally separate resolution and move on this for residents. This doesn't bind outside users.
Marty, are you looking, and I'm glad that you went there, because that's what was taking me a little longer to get this conversation started, to make sure that the comparison is there. So I would support your motion to table for now.
Or would you like to strike outside users from this resolution and set this for residents?
No, Bernie, my concern is that when I read that last reference, it refers to any and all outside users. And I believe we are setting a rate for those users.
Right, we are in this, but we could strike that out of this resolution and set this rate for residents, and then that would give us a base to talk about how we should treat outside users based on this increase. Or we can table, I mean, you've made a motion to table, I shouldn't even be arguing.
I'd rather see us do it.
Discuss the whole thing over. We have a motion to table, do we have a second?
A second, and the reason that I'm doing so is I would like to make sure that the resolution that we pass has both of those rates in the same resolution. So that people understand, you know, how it compares to one another, so.
It's a good idea. Okay, so we have a motion to table, Mr. Mannix, second, Mr. Cashman. Roll call vote on the motion to table.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Mannix,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, the resolution 347 will be tabled until next week. Resolution 348, contract number 1, Route 3 and Sorrel Avenue Pump Station, change order number 2.
Whereas resolution 14-92 of the town of Plattsburgh previously awarded to Stephen A. Fuller Incorporated the bid to provide work on Route 3 and Sorrel Avenue Pump Station. Whereas LaBerge Engineering Consulting Group and Scott Stoddard, Director of the Water and Wastewater Department, have reviewed the proposed change order number 2 as indicated. Therefore be resolved, the supervisor is hereby authorized to accept change order number 2 in a total amount of $240,034.72 for Sorrel Avenue Pump Station and Route 3 Pump Station dated October 3rd, 2014 from the Capital 2013 Water and Wastewater Budget Account, Sorrel Avenue, for $112,797.82 for the Route 3 for $127,236.90. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the Water and Wastewater Director, Finance Manager, and Stephen E. Fuller Excavating Incorporated.
A motion.
Move things along, motion it.
Mr. Cashman, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion? Roll call.
This is just for that particular pump station.
Okay.
No, it's
No,
actually
it's for
affecting
the
2 pump
series of them.
stations,
Yeah, okay.
both the Sorrel Avenue and the Route 3 pump station.
Okay, well, it was changed, was changed from 1 to 2. I got the old resolution, change order number, okay.
Okay, Tom?
Yep.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Manick,
Yes.
Michael Campbell.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 349, acceptance of rubber snow blades for highway department.
Whereas it is necessary to maintain equipment for the continued maintenance and improvements of all highways within the town of Plattsburgh. Whereas procedures for purchase of commodities, equipment of goods, and contract values require the town to solicit price quotes for an amount in excess of $5,000 for services. Whereas James Wood, Highway Superintendent, has solicited prices and requested permission to place an order for rubber drilled snow blades. And it be further resolved, whereas a quote has been received and the total estimated cost for the rubber blades for snow plows is $5,780. Therefore be resolved that the town board approve the purchase as recommended by the highway superintendent and is hereby authorized to make said purchase. And it be further resolved that payment be made payable from the 2014 Highway Budget Equipment Capital Outlay Account. And that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Manick, second.
Second.
Mr. Wood, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Manick,
Yes.
Michael Campbell.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 350, 2014 base sewer slip lining project change order.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Water and Wastewater Department went out to bid and awarded the base sewer slip lining project 2014. Whereas the municipal multi-phase project was previously identified and prioritized to address costly inflow and infiltration problems within the former U.S. Air Force Base, aged and failing water infrastructure. Whereas due to advantageous unit pricings by the low bidder, RO Construction, and after consulting with the town's finance manager and engineering consultant, the Water and Wastewater Director recommends that the town board allocate an amount not to exceed $96,200 that is available in the 2014 base sewer district budget to take advantage of the awarded price to continue the slip lining process. Now therefore be resolved that the town board is hereby authorized the finance manager to transfer funds from the SS6 to the H06 account to continue the base slip lining capital project as indicated. And it be further resolved, supervisor be authorized to execute said change order to extend contract quantities and length of the contract completion date. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and the water and wastewater director.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Cashman, second.
Second.
Mr. Wood, any discussion?
Yeah, I think this is a major advantageous thing for us that the price came in that way and that we can get this extra done because we had it set up in 5 phases and this was the second phase of trying to get the infiltration out of the pipes in the base district, and we're going to be able to do another phase with this same money, plus a little bit, and it doesn't take that much more. So it's really a great thing. Puts a little bit ahead of schedule in trying to remediate the problems that we have with infiltration and I&I at the base.
Which is costly to the town.
It's very costly to the town.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Manick,
Yes.
Michael Campbell.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 351, Codes and Zoning Department Monthly Report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Stephen Imhoff, Code Enforcement Officer for the month of September 2014.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Manick,
Yes.
Michael Campbell.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, the resolution carries. Resolution 352, permission to sell a 1992 tandem dump truck to another municipality.
Whereas normal use requires the town of Plattsburgh to periodically update vehicles, equipment used to maintain roads in the town of Plattsburgh. Whereas the highway department has a 1992 Ford L 9000 dump truck with a 350 cat engine with 120,560 miles, 2,060 hours with an L88 transmission that is no longer needed for surplus equipment. Whereas the Village of Dannemora now wishes to purchase said dump truck from the town of Plattsburgh Highway Department. Whereas the town board has considered said request and acknowledges the 1992 dump truck is surplus and needs to be replaced. Therefore, be resolved that the highway superintendent is hereby authorized to make said sale to the Village of Dannemora for an agreed price of $8,000, and it be further resolved that the supervisor hereby authorized to sign any and all related documents to the sale of this vehicle. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and highway superintendent.
Motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Cashman, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Martin Manick?
Yes.
Michael Cashman?
Yes.
Bernie Bassett?
Yes, the resolution carries. That's all I have for formal resolutions this evening, but I would ask for a motion to go into executive session to discuss the proposed sale of real property.
Make a motion and we go into executive session.
Mr. Mannix, do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Wood, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Martin Manick?
Yes.
Michael Cashman?
Yes.
Bernie Bassett?
Yes, we will go into executive session at 7:33. I don't anticipate any further action, but that's always a possibility. Do you have anything you'd like us to sign if you'd like to leave, knowing it's a school night out? We'll be pleased to do that, and then you may leave.
Only if it's okay if I put your names down on one thing I have to.
Absolutely. Do you need anything signed by us?
No.
She
Okay.
has to come back next week for 2 weeks in a row.
Excellent, we look forward to seeing you.
So
Next week.
we'll be a little more prepared. Now that we get this off the website and everything.
Next week is a work session.
Yeah.
Does that count?
Because if they go on the website, they can download everything and,
Yeah,
you know,
we
follow along.
yeah, we know that now. Yes.
Yeah.
You just said you executive meetings.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
The website is www.townplattsburgh.com. And you go on department, you go on the first.
After you, sir.
Go to department.
You dried out?
That'll be
Are you all dried out?
Yeah, it makes more sense, you know, and next week is kind of interesting because they actually